Hello, it's Blue Orange 22. So this is a big story from Scotland. Former SNP leader Alex Salmond has just been cleared of 12 charges of sexual assault. And when you look at the details of this story, there's something very suspicious going on. And in my opinion, this is an example of an orchestrated political false accusation. Here's the headline: Alex Salmond cleared of all sexual assault charges. A jury found the former SNP leader not guilty on 12 of the sexual assault charges facing him, while another was found not proven. A further charge of sexually assaulting a 10th woman was previously dropped by prosecutors. Now, something I find interesting about this story, and something that makes me think there's something suspicious going on, is that Alex Salmond was the leader of the SNP party for over 20 years, and these accusations came from members and officials within his own party. It was members and officials of the SNP party who made these accusations. The women who made the allegations against Mr. Salmond included an SNP politician, a party worker, and several current and former Scottish government civil servants and officials. Now, of course, that doesn't make him innocent, and that doesn't mean the accusations are false. But when you look at the history of this case and some of the things that happened along the way, you can kind of see that there was something definitely suspicious going on. Take a look. The Scottish government admitted during a judicial review in January of last year that it had acted unlawfully while investigating sexual harassment complaints made against Mr. Salmond by appointing an investigating officer who had prior involvement in the case. So think about that. You have the government on record admitting that it acted unlawfully during the investigation. You have to kind of wonder what was going on there. And the article goes on to say this. And here's a quote from a current SNP politician. The jury's verdict was welcomed by SNP Member of Parliament Joanna Cherry, who said that there were now serious questions about the background to these cases. Ms. Cherry added, some of the evidence that has come to light, both in the judicial review and at this trial, raise very serious questions over the process that was employed within the Scottish government to investigate the alleged complaints against Mr. Salmond. Now, what exactly does she mean? What kind of questions? Because if these accusations are false, you really kind of have to wonder. This was coming from within a major political party in the UK, from party members and party officials. So if this was an organized effort to make a false accusation, you have to ask yourself, where did it come from? Whose idea was it? What was going on? And why did it happen? And I'll tell you my opinion on this. I think that today there's a very kind of toxic and radical element within the feminist movements that supports and organizes making false accusations against men. Now, I've said before that I do think the Me Too movement was valid and legitimate, and many of the accusations were absolutely true. And people like Harvey Weinstein are definitely, no question about it, 100% guilty. But I also think that false accusations like this do happen. And I do think that there are such things as organized and calculated and orchestrated false accusations. And what we're seeing happening in the SNP party is kind of a scary example of this happening at a very high level. Take a look at what Alex Salmond said himself. During his evidence to the court, he said the claims about his alleged conduct were deliberate fabrications for a political purpose, or exaggerations. But he also spoke about how certain evidence has yet to come to light. I, for one, would be very interested in seeing what this other evidence is. And I think this was something orchestrated. This was something calculated. This was something coordinated. And if it came from inside a major political party, that's a very scary reality. And that raises a lot of very serious questions. If Mr. Salmond was found guilty, he would have gone to prison. And if the accusations were false, it means somebody was lying. And if there were 12 charges and they were all found to be not true, that means a lot of people were lying. and a lot of people were agreeing to lie together.